and a very warm welcome to yet another interesting edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Miriam Abdurrashid. Coming up, business rescue mechanism under focus once again. CAC shines at May Day celebration. Plus, how to register a limited liability partnership LLP online. We'll be right back. Do stay with us.
Before you register a company, if the stamp duty interface is not available, you can walk. We issue TIN, we print tax identification number on the certificate. Our system has to talk to the virus system to generate the TIN. If that system is down, we cannot walk. Our system is connected to national ID. We have to validate your information before we accept your details. If the NINSI system is down, or if there is any glitch, you will not be able to work. So, this is our situation. And all these things are necessary. That's why we have an enterprise system. And we also have to be mindful of the level of broadband penetration in Nigeria. So, but as we have said, as a responsible agency, we'll continue to improve and we'll continue to talk to other stakeholders that we have dealings with so that we'll continue to have a seamless system. But customers have to accept the reality of our situation. It's not peculiar disease.
Welcome back. We begin with this year's Workers' Day celebration. May 1st is globally marked as May Day. It is also called International Workers' Day and Labor Day in several countries across the world to commemorate the contributions of workers and the labor movement. Nigerian workers were not left out of the celebration. Under the banner of the Trade Union Congress and the Nigerian Labour Congress, they trooped out to the Eagle Square in Abuja to mark the day. Staff of the Corporate Affairs Commission, under the banner of the Senior Staff Association of Statutory Corporations and Government-Owned Corporation, SASGOC, also joined in the celebration. In an interview with Newsmen, SASGOC Chairman CAC Bauchi, Comrade Suleiman Gire, stressed the significance of the celebration and expressed great hope that better times were ahead for Nigerian workers, particularly CAC employees. Comrade Gire therefore urged his members and the entire staff of the Commission to be positive and continue to pray for the CAC to overcome its recent revenue challenges. To commemorate the day, President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier declared it a public holiday in solidarity with Nigerian workers. In his message on the occasion, President Muhammadu Buhari enjoined the incoming administration to respect workers' rights in accordance with the International Labour Organization (ILO) declarations on labor matters. He added that Nigeria, as a viable member state of the ILO and a connoisseur of workers' rights, had ratified all the core conventions of the organization guarding and promoting rights at work. President Buhari was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha. Also in solidarity with the workers, Punch newspapers reported that Nigeria's President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised to join forces with Nigerian workers to ensure better welfare and working conditions, vowing workers will have more than a minimum wage. He also urged support for his soon-to-begin administration in fighting poverty, ignorance, disease, disunity, and ethnic and religious hate, which he described as common enemies. Your fight will be my fight, because I will always fight for you, Tinubu said in the statement according to Punch. Now, From Mayday, we move on to details of CAMA 2020, alias the Game Changer. Among many innovations in the Companies and Allied Matters Act CAMA 2020 is the provisions for company rescue. That provision allows for, amongst other things, the takeover of ailing companies by administrators to repay their creditors, sustain business, avoid job losses, and avoid many other damages that may befall the company if allowed to crumble. Let's join Mr. Justin Nidia Biral, Director Compliance, for the concluding part of our interview. Enjoy watching.
Tell us, in other climes, in this part of the country, it's a bit difficult for people to accept failure. It's a bit difficult. People will not want to do business with you. The fact that your company collapses and you put it publicly. But in other climes, how is it done?
Well, like we recognized from the beginning that one of the challenges of this particular procedure in the country is that there has been a low response to its utilization.
Okay.
And that, as you rightly noted, is because people fear that once you come out to invoke this process, it's like you have admitted
failure completely.
that you have failed. And not only that, but that also maybe impliedly you are saying that you are bankrupt and dive as a bankrupt. So that's the reason people run away from the alternative business rescue mechanism, particularly the company administration and the company voluntary arrangement. And that underscores the importance of programs like this, that people should actually look at it not as admission of failure or not as admission of bankruptcy, but it is a business strategy that is considered relevant, particularly in this period. So instead of allowing your company to go down, maybe because of pride, that you wouldn't like to be described as a failure, it is better that you recognize the problem, seek for alternative solution, and once you are able to go through the process and come out successfully, everybody is benefits from the result.
Okay. Since the implementation started, do you have a number of people who have accepted it?
Maybe one or two.
Okay.
That's why
publicity is very important.
Publicity is important. People are still fixated on the old procedure to appoint a receiver or a liquidator, which actually doesn't help much.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the cost of implementing this?
The cost in terms of what?
From the company itself, accepting that it can't pay its liabilities, it has to present a proposal. The investors will have to come and look at it and accept. There's a cost attached to it, isn't it?
Well, the cost is not much.
Okay.
The cost is probably because what you are just preparing is just a proposal for repayment of the debt.
Okay.
And it is assumed that it is the directors.
Okay. Is there a time frame for repayment of the debt when the proposal is being prepared? Or it's just open-ended?
No,
I'll pay you when I have money.
It's not open-ended. Like you see, if you look at the structure of the company voluntary arrangement, there is the involvement of the company, there is involvement of the directors, and there is involvement of the creditors. So in the proposal, it is expected that the time frame for the voluntary arrangement will be mentioned.
Okay.
And it will be agreed upon between the creditors and the company itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's not supposed to be an open-ended something. It's supposed to be for a short period.
Okay. Yeah. But it has to be agreement between the two of them as to when they pay their debt. Are they going to pay that debt with interest?
Well, the terms usually, of
the terms
course,
and conditions,
the terms and conditions will specify, but
okay.
Hardly will you find any loan that will not attract interest.
Okay. How much are insolvency practitioners paid? Do they have a levy? a specified level
For
insolvency practitioners?
No, for registration, of
With this-
what we call insolvency practitioners. The amount is 50,000.
Okay, so if I want to practice as an insolvency practitioner,
Yeah.
I have to pay CAC 50,000 naira
Yes,
to register.
to register.
So how much do I get?
If you look at it, that 50,000 is even small because you will notice that it's not renewable.
Okay, is it once
It's
payment?
a once and for all for all this thing, and for those that are involved, actually, if you look at the cost, is insignificant part of their remuneration.
Okay, so I charge the company fee. The company that is already
Of course,
trying
usually,
to wind up, yeah.
usually, if you are being retained
Okay.
as an insolvency practitioner to either administer company voluntary arrangement or to supervise company administration, it is expected that your fees should be agreed upon. And like for company
What do you mean by retain? Is somebody going to retain me? Am I not the practitioner who, like a consultant, people consult me and I give them my services?
Of course, you have to be appointed. That's what we mean.
Oh, okay. Okay, by the company.
By the company, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And your fees has to be specified.
Like I said earlier, in other climes, how is it practiced?
Well, the major thing we will note is that, like we said earlier, that is the attitude.
Okay, okay.
Like we said, business challenges are recognized in other places as normal challenges of life.
Okay.
And in other climates, people actually go into bankruptcy and come out.
Yes, and they come out successfully.
And they come out successfully.
Okay.
And the issue of stigmatization is not there.
Oh, okay.
At all.
Okay.
You may, while you are under the bankruptcy, have challenges. But once you are out of it,
You should be able to address those challenges
you
and
should
move
be
forward.
able to free without any stigma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being a company regulator, what are the major challenges for businesses and companies? Some of the major challenges that businesses and companies encounter.
Well, the
Aside from mismanagement.
the problem that has been recognized all over the world is that you find that there are premature death.
Oh, premature death.
Of
the owner.
Of new companies that cut across, whether it is a limited liability company, whether it is business name or other forms of business management organization. We discover that most of them die within the first 5 years. So that has been the major challenge. So you find that quite a few, I may not be able to give you the exact statistics,
Okay.
but it has been recognized all over the world that new businesses hardly survive the first 5 years.
Why?
Well, for this part of the world, I think people go into business or register company without appreciating what is involved in running the company.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
because companies are supposed to be run by managers.
Okay.
By professionals. And in this part, people do not recognize the role of professional managers to manage companies. So you
they just
find,
feel it's my company and I run it where I want.
And I'm going to be the manager, I'm going to be the chairman, I'm going to be the director.
Okay.
So because of that, you find that people go into it, they don't appreciate what is even involved, they don't recognize their responsibilities, they don't recognize their challenges. They just go into it blindly, and before you recognize, they have run into a problem, and the company has gone down.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And that is one. And the second major challenge also is the issue of capital.
Okay.
Yes, particularly in regimes where the interest is considered to be on the high side. Yes.
Okay.
So you find that people borrow. For those of them that are able to borrow,
Okay.
They borrow, and in the course of the business, when you put the interest along with the principal, you find that they are not able to pay those debts. So consequently, often you find that receivers or liquidators come, or they resort to what is called enforcement mechanism.
Okay. And what is the enforcement mechanism?
The enforcement mechanism varies
Okay.
depending on the bank that gave the loan.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so that might mean outright
That
takeover
might,
of the business.
Takeover of the business and also liquidating it.
Okay. So businesses need to look out for premature debt.
Yes,
And-
that's one.
And capital
They also have to be very careful
with the kind of loan they go
with
into.
the kind of loan they go into. Usually, it is advised that companies should actually look at their cash flow
Okay, before
before they go into borrowing, because it is their cash flow that will be able to determine whether they are able to service
Their
their debt,
Okay.
and not necessarily the assets.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But sir, in this environment where the economic environment just throws up challenges, new challenges every day, how do you cope?
Well,
Today it is interest rate. Tomorrow it is subsidy removal. Next tomorrow it is subsidy removal on petroleum product or power and the rest.
Well, we operate a free enterprise economy. And generally there will always be challenges
And surprises.
and opportunities.
Okay.
Because what we also consider as challenges in the economy could actually be opportunities for other businesses.
Okay.
Like when COVID came,
Yes.
COVID was a challenge. It was a national challenge. It was a global challenge. But I can assure you that quite a number of businesses succeeded during
And
COVID.
the new ones were created.
New ones were also created. So it's just like any other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So businesses need to look for opportunities all
They
the
need to
time.
look for opportunities. They also need to be flexible.
Okay. Flexible in
They
terms of.
They adapt to situations, and they should always have alternative business strategy.
Okay. All of this must
that
be in
is
place here
that is sensitive
to the environment.
to the environment and change in particular.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Ndia Justin Barrow, we must have to leave it here. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your time as always.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
Great insights there from Justin. Moving on to registration matters. Do you know that Limited Liability Partnership, LLP, is a partnership arrangement with legal personality separate from the partners, and that the liabilities of the partners of an LLP are limited to the amounts agreed to be contributed or outstanding in the event of winding up? Let's now show you how to register an LLP online. Come with us.
Hello, Nigeria. You can now register your Limited Liability Partnership LLP using the CAC end-to-end registration portal. It is important to know that the liabilities of the partners of an LLP are limited to the amount agreed to be contributed or what is outstanding in the event of winding up. Additionally, the designated partners shall be individuals, at least one of whom must be resident in Nigeria. This tutorial video is divided into 2 phases, which will help you navigate this process easily. Phase 1. Name reservation. First, let's find out if the name is available and reserve the name. Step 1. Log on to your dashboard using your username and password and click on New Name Reservation. Step 2. Under Name and Type, under the Classification of Business button, choose Limited Liability Partnership as the specific type. Enter your proposed names and ensure it ends with the word Limited Liability Partnership or LLP. Ensure you fill in all fields marked with a red asterisk. Click on Save and Continue. Step 3. Under Objectives, pick New Incorporation as your reason for the reservation and click on Save and Continue to preview. Step 4. Click on Pay via Remitter to proceed to payment. Step 5. On the Remitter page, click on Submit. This will bring up a list of options you can use for the payment. After making payment, you will be automatically redirected to your dashboard and your reservation will enter the pending panel. Phase 2. Registration. Now that we have reserved the name, let's now proceed to register the Limited Liability Partnership business. Step 1. On your dashboard, click on the Reserved panel. This will bring up your approval history. Step 2. Click on the Start Registration button beside the approved Limited Liability Partnership name. Step 3. Under Entity Details, enter the details of the entity and click on Save and Continue. Step 4. Under Partners Appointment, click on either the Add Individual Partners, Add Corporate Partners, or Add Minor Partners and enter the particulars of each partner. While filling the details of a partner, ensure to tick whether the partner is designated or not. Also ensure to fill the sum contributed or agreed to be contributed and other important details, then click on the Add Partner button. After adding all the partners, click on the Save and Continue button. Step 5. Under Persons with Significant Control, PSC, if there is a person who will count as a person with significant control, tick the box in A and add the details of the person, whether natural or legal entity. If otherwise, tick the box in B, then click the Save and Continue button to proceed. Step 6. Under Partnership Agreement, enter the details and information of the witness to the agreement and click the Add Witness button. Then proceed by either clicking on the Add Partnership Agreement or Adopt Default Partnership Agreement button. Click on Save and Continue. Step 7. Under Document Upload, scan the means of identification chosen in Step 4 above for all the partners in one PDF file and upload it by clicking the Upload button. Upload the scanned versions of the signature of each partner and witnesses. Click on Save and Continue to preview your entries. Step 8. When you have verified your entries, click on Proceed to Payment to pay for your registration. Remember to remain on the remitter page after you have received a confirmation of payment. You will be automatically redirected to your dashboard where you can download your receipt.
When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel where you can download and print it.
We believe that you are now fully equipped to register your own LLP arrangement online. And that does it for this week's edition of the program, CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and our helpline. On Twitter, it is CAC Nigeria 1. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. Our website is www.cac.gov.ng. And our helpline 070 806 29000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program. Same time, same station. From me, Miriam Abdurrashid, and the entire team here, it's bye for now.